So, Adrien Gizon, you are an international consultant for ADI, which is a microfinancing institute in France, and you're also on the board of the Action Finance Initiative, which is a microfinancing institution in Greece.
Yes.
We are both doing work together in Greece. We have a strategic partnership with the People's Trust, where we provide grants, and AFI provides microfinancing to
and the training
to small businesses. So both business development and access to finance. Those are the two things that we provide. Through your work that you've already done in Greece, can you point out some of the features that we can improve in the legislative environment in order for microfinancing to be able to get a better grip on the economy? At this point, we're a little bit held back, and it would be great to hear your experience and your thoughts on how we can improve that.
Okay. Well, I would say there are at least 4 points from my point of view. There may be more, but at least I can see
four major ones.
4 major points, yes. On the micro level, let's say, I would point out the environment of the micro enterprises in Greece. We know that they represent a huge, vast majority, almost all the enterprises in Greece, and still
98 to 99%.
Yes, it's crazy. I mean, the trend is the same in Europe, in all the European Union members countries, but it's even stronger in Greece. And still, this environment, the current environment in Greece, is not really suitable for those micro enterprises to evolve, to grow, and be able to make their business in a friendly environment, let's say, because they have to pay taxes, especially the social taxes, in advance. And we all know that small businesses, especially those we focus on, the vulnerable micro entrepreneurs, most of them unemployed, they don't have cash flow or very limited cash flow. So that's a thing of paying in advance is very complex. And in fact, in France, where I come from, we have made a lot of advocacy efforts to convince the government to change that. So we have created together with the government a specific legal status for micro enterprises, which is called auto-entrepreneur, which enable the people to pay once they have done their first turnover. And they are not charged on their profit, but on the turnover. So it makes things much more easier for them to start their activity, get the first income, and then once they have this, be able to pay the taxes.
Yeah. So they can begin to generate an income and turnover before they have to...
And they don't actually have to pay before they actually even start to sell the first article. Sense. And it makes sense, actually, yeah. So that's maybe the first one that I'd see. Legal framework, a process to register, easy, quick, free of charge, or at least really cheap, which is not the case in Greece. And this taxation system that we just discussed. Yeah. Still on the micro level, I can see another thing, which is the ability for an unemployed to turn into an entrepreneur. Nowadays, an unemployed person in Greece receiving the unemployment benefits, the day he registers his business, he loses his unemployment benefits. And that's also, I think, discouraging for some individuals willing to create the business. And again, thinking about what we have achieved in France after 25 years of advocacy, so I
hope it won't take us that long.
I hope so as well, but it's a long journey. We have managed to convince the authority to make this change between being an unemployed and an entrepreneur a bit smoother, so people are able to keep their unemployment benefits for a while, until they generate enough income from their activity to live, and so they don't need anymore the unemployment benefits, and then the unemployment benefit stops. And basically, they disclose their income every month.
My question, right?
And based on that, the administration, public administration, make calculation. It's not monthly, actually, it's quarterly, and decides out of these, let's say, 1,000 unemployment benefits they had, how much they will get on this quarter based on the turnover of their company.
So essentially that provides...
it's a safety net.
Yeah, unemployed people with the ability to have some cash flow until they start to generate an income, and it's a safety net that they won't lose all their benefits from one day to the next without that income.
And it also gives you the possibility to test your activity.
Right.
Because if you refer to my first point, a legal status which is more flexible enables you to test the activity. And if it works, fine. If it's not, then you can change, but you don't lose everything the day you register your business without knowing whether it will be successful or not.
So in summary, those 4 points are?
So we just said 2 points right now. On the micro, yes. The environment of micro businesses, the existence of bridges between unemployment and entrepreneurship. And if we look at the macro level, I see two main things for the microfinance industry to flourish in Greece. The first thing would be a change of the banking law, because right now we cannot operate directly. We have in fact partnered with, and I thank them for that, two partner banks, Pancretan Cooperative Bank, PCB, and Eurobank. So basically what AFI does, we source the clients, we train the people, we provide them with this training, we appraise their demand for funding and their business idea, and then we provide them with a loan through the banks. So basically our partners provide the loans to those people. And why we have to do that? Because in Greece, to create a microfinance, better said, a credit institutions being able to lend money for business purposes to people, you need to be a bank. You need to have a 9 million equity capital, which of course a non-profit organization like us do not have. And you are under the strict regulation of the authority as a bank. And it's very costly, it's very complex to comply with all the regulation. So we cannot do that. Yeah. So that's the first point. And I'm saying this for the sake of microfinance in Greece. I'm not saying that for the sake of AFI, because again, we would be glad to have other institutions entering the market and serving as much people as possible.
So what we're saying is changing the legal framework to allow microfinancing institutions to flourish without the need to be a financial institution.
So what you can do, several countries has done that. Either you create a specific law, but that's very complex. Either what you can do is very simple. Let's say, add a paragraph in your banking law adding an exemption saying that non-banking institution, non-profit organization are allowed to borrow money from the bank and lend it to their clients. And then, of course, you have to set a minimum requirements rule, because you cannot be exempted on any kind of regulation.
You have to regulate the MFIs as well, but...
But it probably in a lighter way as you would do for the banks, because with the volume we're talking about are obviously not the same. So the risk are either much limited as well as compared to a bank.
So 2 micro, 1 macro?
And the fourth point, which is directly linked with the change of the legal environment of the banking law, is that right now we, as a fee action finance initiative in Greece, we cannot get access to structural funds from the European Union, and we cannot benefit directly from all the schemes that the European Union, the European Commission have created, set up in order to foster the development of microfinance. And I'm referring to specifically the EASY program of the European Union.
EASI.
Yes, social innovation, employment and social innovation program, which gives the opportunity to microfinance institutions to benefit from guarantees and also to benefit from equity. So basically EIF, the European Investment Fund, can provide to microfinance institutions a guarantee on the loan they issue. So it makes things safer to everyone, and it's also easier to convince the banks to come along with you and, you know, in this great adventure of microfinance.
So that there's a stake also that they have to take, so that you have common, let's say, you're aligned, let's say, in your lending.
And they can also provide, in some cases, equity to those MFIs. But of course, in order to do that, EIF needs you to be a financial intermediary. And right now in Greece, because of the legal framework, we are not a financial intermediary, so we cannot benefit directly from those mechanisms. And that's a pity, because those mechanisms exist and they don't exhaust all the money they have. It's here available. And it's available, and we cannot use it, which is a shame. And also about this access to European funds. In some countries, the structural funds are, in all countries of the EU member states, the structural funds are handled by the governments, by ministries. And there are structural funds which are aiming at supporting employment. And in several countries, in Belgium, in France, we've been able to get access to those funds through the government. And so far in Greece, we haven't managed to get access to those funds. And that would help, that would enable us to get some funding in order to provide more training to those people. So I'm not talking only about giving them access to funding, but also giving them proper training. We do it, but on a limited, because we have limited human resources. We will need more resources to do that.
I think it's important also to underline that small enterprises in Greece, especially, create 75 to 86% of private sector jobs. So this is why our two organizations focus on micro entrepreneurs, small entrepreneurs, because they create jobs, and that is what we're seeking to provide: jobs and equal access to vulnerable sectors of society. So, Adrien, thank you very much.
Thank you.